So is the Grand Junction housing market finally cooling off, giving you a reason to get on board and head out here to Grand Junction, Colorado? Well, we're going to answer that question as well as some other topics that are similar and related, and we're going to do it right after this, so stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? I'm Robert Hayes, and along with my wife Christie, we are the Hayes Home Group Associate Brokers here in Grand Junction, Colorado, which means if you're looking to relocate here to Grand Junction, we can help you do that. We are getting phone calls, text, emails from people all over the country, all over the world for that matter. So if that's you, make sure you hit the subscribe button, tap that little bell, that way you're notified every single time we post a new video, and then make sure that you reach out. Give us a phone call, text message, email, whatever you need to do. We've got your back when moving to Grand Junction. Okay, so one of the questions that our clients are asking us lately is, we're seeing a lot of inventory coming up on the market, Robert, so does that mean things are slowing down a little bit? Is the market crashing there in Grand Junction? Well, actually, it's not crashing at all. It is still very much a seller's market here in Grand Junction, just like it is where you live probably. What you're seeing is spring inventory popping up. So December, January, February are customarily the slowest times of the year for houses coming on the market, and so now you're seeing that spring inventory pop up. Beautiful day here in Grand Junction, beautiful sunny skies, and that's what you're going to see during springtime is folks deciding now is the time to put our home on the market. So that's why you're seeing a little more inventory. To that end, last year clients were a little hesitant, sellers were, to put their home on the market, not knowing what the heck was going to go on. Are the kids going to be in remote learning for the next year? Well, they're definitely not here. We started on time here in Grand Junction, in-person learning, and to that end, what about being remote working for the rest of the year? What's going to go on with that, with this whole COVID shutdowns and that sort of thing? So now that they're seeing things are starting to open up a little bit more, vaccinations are hitting the country, so they're a little more they're not as reluctant now to put homes on the market, move to their next destination, and so you're seeing that inventory pop up, which is good for you as the buyer because there's certainly more to look at. So even with it being a seller's market here in Grand Junction, what are some of those reasons why people are deciding to get out here to Grand Junction? Well, just based on talking to all the clients that we've helped move out here, the number one reason is that outdoor lifestyle, these gorgeous surroundings here in Colorado. That's usually the main reason why people are looking to get out here, just get out of the big city, the hustle and bustle, the crazy traffic. And then we're also having clients tell us, look, after last year with, some of the violence in the city that we live in now, we're done with that. We're over it. We want to get to a serene environment where we can get outdoors, not have the craziness of a big city. We're about 65, 70,000 people here in Grand Junction, and that suits a lot of people just perfectly for exactly what they want, which is either retiring, which is a great area here in Grand Junction to do that, or they're moving their whole family out here and getting the kiddos out here, enjoying a little slower paced lifestyle, and just enjoying these incredible surroundings here in Grand Junction. as more and more people have the ability to work remotely and not have to go into the office, they're trying to, take a step back and think, where's the next destination of life? What's the next chapter? And matching that up with, a city or a town that matches up with their values and their lifestyle. So Grand Junction's been on the radar for quite some time for obviously the outdoor environment, the gorgeous surroundings here in Colorado, but then they're also trying to pair that up with, okay, what about the lifestyle for my kids, maybe for a retirement community? All the things that Grand Junction has to offer certainly meets all of those objectives. And it's not just individuals and families moving out here to Grand Junction, Colorado. In a lot of cases, there are companies moving their entire operations here to Grand Junction to take advantage of the tax incentives that the city has to offer. There are tech companies that are moving here, and in some cases, they are completely tax-free for up to 6 years. So that certainly improves the overall economy, which is super strong anyway. Just makes it even better with those companies moving here to Grand Junction, Colorado. So now that it is springtime and inventory is picking up a little bit, it's still a little less than it was this time last year. So the trick in finding the home, that's really not the hardest part. It's winning the offer once we find the home. So let me give you an example. Let's say that a home is listed for $400,000 and we're willing to go to $410,000, $415,000. But you don't want to pay more than, let's say, $5,000 between what the appraised value is and what the contract price is. So for instance, again, it's listed for $400,000, and let's say you offer $415,000, but the appraisal comes in at $410,000. There's your $5,000 difference that you're okay coming to closing with. We can certainly do things like that and some other strategies, some other tricks up our sleeve to make sure that we get you into the house and make sure we win the offer. Now, as far as getting approved for a budget that you're comfortable with, I'll put on the screen Alan Coombs and team with Fidelity Mortgage here in town. They'll go ahead and work with you, figure out what your budget is, and make sure that we have a pre-approval before we go looking at a property, which is super important. So is the Grand Junction market cooling down? Are we heading for a crash? Yeah, not likely anytime soon. In fact, we anticipate things just continuing on this path for the rest of the year. Now, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you what things are going to be doing in 2022, but based on monetary policy and historically what inflation does to housing, that usually is a good thing. It means home prices typically tend to go up. But timing the market is never a good idea. The time to buy is when you want to buy, when you need to buy, when it's the best time for you and your family. If you look back at 2008, 2009, during the Great Recession, those homes have far exceeded what the initial drop was 10 years ago, and they've increased over 100% where they were back then. So over time, real estate is always a good decision, always a good choice for investing. And, again, moving to Grand Junction and these incredible surroundings here is never a bad idea either. So again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe, tap the bell. That way you're notified when we upload new videos. And again, if you're thinking about moving here, you gotta reach out. Make sure you give us a phone call, text message, email, whatever you need to do. We've got your back when moving here to Grand Junction. Until the next video, we'll catch you later.